If you had to explain it to somebody who's never heard of society's break.
What is the leverage point that can make that systems change is a slight structural change. In other words, there's a structure underneath our system that generates the reductive thinking process that we use, where we try and, what do they call it? These sustainable development goals, there's 14 or 17 or something from the UN. I mean, they're all, it's as though we can break these things into little pieces and solve them one at a time. And so that takes us out of our systems thinking capability. We lose the choice creating mindset because of that structure. And the structure is simple. It's just this idea that we can set up a set of rules, the rules of the game. And then, okay, great, we negotiated that. Now that's our system. Now we'll go ahead and just go live life. As individuals competing inside this game, we accidentally set up a competition and a judgment process. Are you following the rules or are you not? And so we end up with this reductive thinking process too. So, but if you and I understand that, and we add the missing piece to that structure, and that's merely the whole system, choice creating conversation. We add that little bit, and we can do that through the Wisdom Council process applied globally. If we add that as that's just a structural addition. We've still got all the UN and capitalism and all that other stuff, except that there's this dynamic facilitation conversation that becomes one whole system, one ongoing whole system, choice creating conversation. If you and I can set that in motion, that is a structural change. And then the mindset changes. Then the paradigm changes. Human nature changes. The governance changes. Economics changes. All of it changes. You know that there's a repetitive process in the Wisdom Council process. So like that's now I've tried to change to talk about the Wisdom Council process. I used to early days, I talked about the Wisdom Council always, and that was, so now I have this recognition that people don't realize it's ongoing. And so I need to add that. And so to me, the issue is what we're really doing is setting up one whole system conversation and opportunities for us to express ourselves. So each Wisdom Council process, I mean, even though that is what's facilitating the whole system conversation, it's also the piece that allows us to articulate our progress as we go along. And so I don't know how long it's needed, but I'm guessing that we'll set it up in some way, and then people will say, hey, we need one here, we need one here, we need one here, we need one for this. So I'm guessing people will add lots, but I think in the beginning, we would, just so people start to get used to the idea, we'll have fewer, it'll be once every 3 months or something, or once a month maybe. And that will maybe get people used to the idea. But then that can only deal with one issue at a time. And I think as people build trust in the concept and in the process, then it's easier to accept a global Wisdom Council on this issue, a global Wisdom Council on that process, because they do in fact merge. I mean, when there's a global Wisdom Council process, it's not like you get different answers. The answers kind of come together, and so they can be working on different issues. So that's my image, is that we'd do it probably once a month, but well, we wouldn't have, if we have enough money, it's also a money thing. If we have plenty of money, we can do it once a month to get started, I suppose. If we don't have plenty of money, then we'll have to do it once every 6 months or something. So that's kind of the way I think about it. But I just don't know, I don't know.